Hey everybody, Derek here to bring another video for Z Nation. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is giving my predictions for the upcoming episode of Z Nation, which is Batch 47. I've looked at the trailer, I've looked at the sneak peeks, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Just in case you guys are not caught up with Z Nation, this video will contain spoilers. Alright. So, after looking at last week's episode, it's pretty clear that, they're on their way to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where a lab is reported to exist that has some kind of an herbal cure for the zombie virus. Then one of the things that you know about with just in general herbal cures, lots of different plants, various different plant species, they can provide either cures for diseases or they can abate some of the symptoms that a person may have as a result of an illness. So plants are definitely very important, not just for, taking carbon dioxide in and putting out oxygen. They're very important to us as humans, and you want to see more of a preservation of various species because you never know what they may be useful for our world. And it's a similar thing here. It appears that according to reports, there may be some kind of cure out there in this lab. Now, we do know that this lab did produce Z-weed, which was used in the last episode, which really gave individuals like Murphy and Doc a high, if you'll put it that way. But for Cassandra, it almost really seemed to bring out more of the human qualities within her, that it made her act more like she was before she became this hybrid. And what the sneak peek shows is what I believe to be the beginning of the episode, or very close to it, where these two guys sneak into one of these greenhouses and they're looking around, and I think they were talking about Z-weed. I think that's specifically what they were looking for. And the guy was like, "Come on, let's just get some of these, seeds and get out of here." Or again, he may have been talking about the cure. I can't really understand which one they were talking about. But what ends up happening is they're, hacking away at some of the plants with a machete, trying to get through like you would in a typical jungle movie. You slash some of the vines and plants that are there. And the one guy warns the guy like, "Yo, don't do that. I've heard that these things can feel, what you're doing, and they don't like it when you're, slashing away at their, vines, branches, things along those lines." And the guy goes, forget you. So they're walking through, and all of a sudden, the one guy just gets, pulled back into the plants, and just, you can tell he's obviously been killed. But we don't necessarily see what it is that kills him. And as they're walking through, you can see actual zombies that have been, in a sense, acclimated with the plants, where there's plants growing around them, and the zombie, head itself or body, of the human is within them. And the one guy, turns around like, "Oh, my friend's gone." And of course, then he starts to, see that things are going wrong. So he tries to leave because his friend comes out of the plants and is a zombie, of course. And then you see another zombie, in a sense, rising out of the ground, or maybe he was laying down on the ground and gets up. But we see that, and basically the other guy gets devoured. So that would lead us to believe that, maybe some of the plants are zombies. We've seen in Z Nation that the zombie virus has crossed over to various species. We've seen a zombie bear, so it would not surprise me to see other zombie animals, zombie humans, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see zombie plants. I mean, plants are living things. That's a fact that's known. And it would not surprise me if that is what is going on there. Now, it may affect them differently than others, but nonetheless, I would not be surprised if these things have been infected. And one thing that you may see is that I think we're going to see that some of the plants, in a sense, use the zombie human bodies as kind of like the thing that they control, that they grow around it and for some reason are able to take control of it, which then, allows them to, become mobile. But there may also be a possibility that we may see some kind of a plant that operates on its own as a plant. I mean, you think about the Venus flytrap and how it can, close on, various other plant species, on insects. I've seen that they would eat those things, and I would not be surprised if something like that, maybe not necessarily a Venus flytrap, but a plant itself could, reach out, grab somebody, pull it in, and eat it. I mean, hey, Z Nation has done some crazy things, so it would not surprise me in that respect. Or again, it just may, because you see Vines later on in the trailer, reach out and snatch Murphy by the leg, and he yells for Warren. So I think that, the plants themselves can also be mobile, but do they always have to be, in a sense, surrounding the body of a human, or are they operating on their own? That's a question that we'll have to wait for the episode to find out just how far the extent goes as to how infected these plants are and what they can and what they can't do without some kind of a human body assistance. So definitely interested to find out about that. We also have Murphy and Cassandra. They have arrived at this lab, and there's this guy there wearing a white lab coat, smoking on some kind of pipe, whether it's, Z-weed, whether it's, something else, I don't know. And the guy basically, is in front of a bunch of people, and there's more people than just Murphy and Cassandra there. There's like about a dozen of them. And the guy who's in the lab coat, he talks about, hey, you guys all came here, in hopes of a cure. You had hope, and you're here to try to, get a cure. Now, for some of you, that's going to cost you your lives, but, for people who do succeed, you could potentially, be the person that helps everybody else get a cure, and then we can get this world back, to the way it was, in a sense. And what he claims is that the cure is inside of the Batch 47 greenhouse. He talks about that he found Batch 47 and it had been there for years, and now that it's been found, it's, ripe for the picking, and that it's, it's where the cure is at. Now, just how much this guy knows, I'm not sure, He may not even be a scientist. I mean, that would not surprise me if he was a fraud, because he really just doesn't give off that appearance that he's professional. Now, I mean, you see scientists from all walks of life, but when people call his skepticism, he really doesn't provide any, sincere, for sure hope that the cure actually exists, because he's sending people in there to, get some seed pods. That's his point. He gives them, like those clippers, and tells them, hey, go in there and get some of the seed pods and bring them back. Now, of course, that could be for multiple reasons. One is that, maybe the cure is in there, but there's still more work that needs to be done. Because I am very sure that there's been some kind of scientific work going on there, because you do see, various different lab stations in the trailer. There's one where it almost looks like there's like this head inside of a vial, and it just explodes. So there is work going on, and maybe he's the one that's doing it, or it may be somebody else, which is a very interesting point, because Warren's group will eventually make it there, but there's more that's going on there. As Scorpion comes there, the guy who's played by Emilio Rivera, and Dr. Kurian, I believe I saw in the trailer as well, because you see a scene where Murphy grabs this guy and throws him up against the wall. You don't see a lot, but I'm pretty sure that that's Kurian. The guy was bald. He looks a little older. I thought I saw burn marks. I think that's Kurian. And that would lead me to believe one of two things. Either, one, this is the lab where Kurian's been working, and he's been cultivating these various different zombie, it could be a cure, it could be advancements in the virus, because, we know that he wanted Murphy for a particular reason. Why? I'm not sure. But this may be part of the, work that he was working on, that he's the one that's been, cultivating these various different things, like maybe Z-weed, maybe he is the inventor of it, and, maybe he wanted to experiment with Murphy for some other purpose. It seems like Kurian and potentially a Scorpion may be men of opportunity, where if they see something that they feel can, provide some kind of a new advancement for their own position, that they're going to take advantage of it. Because a Scorpion seems like more than just a, a bounty hunter. I mean, I don't think that he's just that. He seems to be somebody who is a little bit higher up on the food chain, in regards to his status. Now, who he is in particular, we still don't know. I mean, the first episode that he was introduced in, he didn't say a word. He was silent the whole time. So we may find out a little bit more in this episode about who he is and what he wants. And obviously he wants Murphy. I mean, otherwise, why would he go to Wyoming? That doesn't make sense. Why you would fight off other bounty hunters. Now, of course, he has that Z tattoo right on his hand, which that could be signs that, he's in some kind of organized criminal, organization. Not to judge, but, you do see that various groups, that are involved with gang activity do have tattoos that signify who they are. So again, now this may be, some kind of a group after the events of the zombie apocalypse, because, the fact that it's a Z, really makes me wonder, well, what exactly does that mean? Are you like the zombie protectors? Are you, the zombie cult that, figures that this is the return? Or are you, working for somebody else, and that's just how you identify yourself? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities for why he has that Z tattoo, but my hope is that him coming to the lab, he's going to get more, we're going to get to find out a little more about him, because I really think that he does work for somebody else. I mean, I think he has a very powerful position, and it just may be that the individuals that he represents or works for want Murphy as well for some kind of a particular reason. So he may be going there to get Murphy, or he may be going there to, understand a little bit more about this lab, and if he wants that, then he'll send his men in there and they'll take it. So that's a possibility. And as well with Kurian, I mean, again, I think that he may be the person that has run this lab, or he came there for similar reasons for why he found Murphy. Obviously he has some kind of a fascination with the zombie virus. Now, whether he's made advancements or whether he's trying to find them, that's a question that, we really need more answers to. Because we know that he's a bioweapons dealer, so he's either working for somebody who wants the zombie virus for particular reasons, or he's just gone into business himself, and this is the way to make himself profitable. Hey, I got this, new zombie, deviation part virus here that, it makes blasters. I mean, hypothetically speaking. I mean, obviously we know how the blasters were made, but, if you can find some way of making, yourself either more powerful or making the zombies more powerful or more mild, that's marketable. In this world, we're either looking for a cure, we're looking for something that's gonna, keep us alive, like food or water, or we're gonna look for something that, will better our situation. So, again, Kurian just may be a regular businessman who this is what he's doing. He's just trying to get ahead. And there's a lot of questions that I really hope are answered in this episode. I think we really need to know more about a Scorpion, and if and if Kurian is here, then I really want to know, is this his lab, or is he coming here, saying, hey, I got this other, cure thing, but he's really lying, kind of like how he did with Murphy. and he just wants it for his own selfish needs. Hard to say, but I'm definitely interested to see what is going to happen here. I think it's going to be a great episode, and I'm looking forward to it. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Let me know what you all think. I hope you're all excited for this episode too. Z Nation's ratings did go up a little bit since the last episode, so it was a little exciting, to see that it's not losing interest altogether. So I'm really looking forward to it. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you guys have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see in the future, please do not be afraid to suggest them. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.